My name's Alison. I was a summer volunteer with LeaveUrMark. I worked in India in a place called Bangalore for 4.5 weeks this year. I loved my time there. It was fantastic. I can't describe it. I gained so much confidence. I learnt so many new things. I found myself as a person. I got an identity. I made new friends. I met new people, different types of people. I learned a new language. I gained more responsibility and respect for different cultures, different religions, different beliefs, everything. India is a very religious country, so you walk down the street and everywhere there are temples, churches, statues of gods, etc. The LeaveUrMark volunteers all live together. They live in the centre of Bangalore with one cook. This year his name was Gautam and he was just lovely. And the coordinator lives in the same apartments. This year my coordinator was called Annie. I loved her. She was fantastic. She looked after everyone. She was so welcoming. I felt I could talk to her about anything and everything. I really miss India. I've been home for 3 days and it's been a culture shock coming home. Living in India and immersing myself into Indian culture, coming home has been very different, but I wouldn't change anything. I really liked LeaveUrMark because everything was structured. There was someone you could talk to if you needed help, or you were worried, homesick, or you just wanted to learn something about the city. So for me, before I left, I was not confident, I was quite shy, embarrassed easily, but I arrived in India the same, shy, nervous, didn't talk, a bit pushed back, but then I met a few of the other volunteers. My first day, we went out to visit some places. I spent most of the day with 2 volunteers and the coordinator, and I had a fantastic time. We went sightseeing. I had my first auto rickshaw ride. Scary, but fun. Then we got back and I met all the other volunteers. But LeaveUrMark has a really nice atmosphere, just relaxing in the accommodation. You can just talk with everyone or just sit in silence, comfortable. Everything, it feels like home. All the volunteers I think of as very close friends or family. After my month there, my volunteer place was with a deaf AIDS society called the Sheila Avala School for the Deaf. Is in Bangalore, just outside. It's about 45 minutes away from the accommodation. But I really liked it there. It was very different from deaf schools in England, but I learned a lot about deaf culture and how it's different in different countries. How deaf children are taught, very different. In England, the deaf schools I've visited, they haven't focused or forced speech therapy. In India, because there's no equality, there's nothing. A deaf child or deaf person has to speak, otherwise they're more in danger. For me, working in that school was the best experience I've had in my entire life. I loved every second. Although sometimes the children would bite or hit or kick, and I had a couple of bruises, but it was because they learnt different things. So because of seeing how the children act, I could teach them different ways to channel their emotions. So I helped teach an autistic child how to be more calm, patient. He was still very hyper and aggressive, but after 4 weeks he was more calm when someone would help him write and put their arm around to support. It was a fantastic feeling to see the difference I had, or I helped influence with the teacher in just a short time. Some of the children live in Cheshire House, which it's a home for disabled children in Bangalore. The children living there care for themselves, so they cook for themselves, clean for themselves, wash their own clothes, etc. One girl from my kindergarten class lived in Cheshire House, and on my last day I gave her some clothes which me and some of the other volunteers had donated, and she loved them. She was so thankful, and so we brought in some of the bigger size clothes and gave them to some of the other children who lived in Cheshire House. One girl, I won't forget it, it's a really Nice moment, but sad. She was probably about 16, and I gave her a bag filled with clothes. Mine, friends, clothes, t-shirts, dresses, shoes, and she opened the bag and looked in and just started crying. She was really happy, and she just kept saying thank you, and she was talking as well. She was very overwhelmed. It was nice. I think in the future I would go and leave your mark again. It it costs money and it is expensive, but with it being charity and volunteering, you can fundraise. But the money you give goes to pay for your accommodation, and your accommodation is safe. There's a cook. You have your dinner every day included in your price. You have 24-hour in-country support from 2 different people, and you have pre-departure support. So you understand everything before you leave, and there's help when you're there. And if you want to change your place, or you're not happy, or something's bothering you, you can talk to them and they'll help. I would definitely recommend Leave Your Mark to people. I had an amazing summer, and I'm really glad that I went to India with Leave Your Mark.